me quickly introduce myself. My name is Ashutosh, and I had been working as a data scientist for the past 9 or 10 years as of now. And I had catered my services to the clients like Coca-Cola, Scoot Singapore Airlines, Air Malaysia, Bank of Malaysia, Qatar Airways, TrueJet India, Yatra.com, Volvo Bengaluru, through the organizations that I had been associated previously. And I had also been a visiting professor for many universities in India, to name a few: IIT Kanpur, IIT Guwahati, DSIT College, Shulini University, Chitkara University, REMS College, Atharva College, and many more colleges as well. And I had been training the working professionals and the students globally, right from India, US, UK, Malaysia, China, Africa, and recently in Dubai as well. So that is a quick intro about me. So today we are going to talk about the data analytics. Now, a lot of people have this dichotomy, a bit of confusion, like what is data analytics or what is data science, or to be precise, who is a data scientist, or who is a data analyst. Let us talk about this thing. See, when we are talking about data analyst is a person who is working on the past and the present, who is talking about the past and the present. For example, let us assume how many people got succumbed to COVID in the past 6 months. How many people got inoculated in the past 6 to 8 months? And data analysts are the people who are using the tools like Power BI, Tableau, Advanced Excel, SQL to come up with these insights. Data scientist, on the other hand, is a person who has the capability to talk about the past and the present, but he's also talking about the future. For example, how many people are going to succumb to COVID in the coming 6 months? How many people needs to get inoculated to get the COVID rate down by another 6% or 10%? And they're using the tools like, Python and R to come up with these kind of predictions. So that is the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist. Now, when we are talking about the other things that we see over here in data analytics. So see, friends, now when we are talking about data analytics, one thing you need to understand, data is the new oil. A lot of companies, they are relying on the data nowadays. Why? The reason is very simple. When you are taking a decision that is being backed by the data, chances are very less that you might go wrong. But if you're not taking a gut-based decision, chances are very high that you might go wrong. And we are living in a generation where the data generation, to be precise, is increasing exponentially every minute, every hour. The companies, the organizations, they need the professionals like us who can work on the data, get the insights from it, so that they can take the informed decision. Now, when we are talking about data analytics, to be precise, it is all about examining the raw data. When we say the raw data, see, we are posting the stuff of the Instagram, the LinkedIn, Facebook, emails, call transcript. There are various avenues through which data is getting generated. Data analytics is all about examining those raw data to find out what are the trends, what are the patterns, and the insights. Now, using all of these things, friends, these organizations, these management, they are able to take the informed decision, which is going to drive the business success. Why this matters so much? Because it is enabling the smart decision making based on the evidence, not on the intuition. When we say intuition, it is all about gut-based decision. It is also improvising the operational efficiency by identifying the bottlenecks and the opportunities. It is also helping us to uncover the hidden patterns. Yes, that is also of the paramount importance nowadays. Why? because it is revealing the new market possibilities, transforming the data chaos into the strategic clarity. So a lot of stuff is happening over here. Data analytics is all about these things, guys. Working with the raw data. Now, when we are talking about the life cycle, see how this data analytics work. It is not like, suddenly you jump into the visualization part or the cleaning part. No, we have to take a step-by-step approach. Now, when we are talking about what is the step-by-step approach, first we have to collect the data. Now, sometimes, or to be precise, a lot of times, the client is apprehensive of sharing the data with us. In that case, we have to collect the data. Now, when we are talking about collecting the data, see, there are various avenues of collecting the data as well. Either it could be Kaggle or GitHub. So we are just gathering the raw data from the multiple sources or the systems and touch points. If the client is giving us, well and good. If not, then we can collect the data from the various avenues. But the data that we collect, guys, it will be having certain anomalies into it, certain problems into it. If you proceed working with that kind of data, the inferences that you are going to get, that is going to be biased. So even before we start working on that data, we have to clean the data. We have to remove the errors, the duplicate values, the outliers, the inconsistencies, the missing values and whatnot. How do we do that? Is a whole different ballgame. We'll be seeing that. But once it is done, we start analyzing the data over here. We start applying the statistical methods and the algorithms to find the patterns or the trends into it. Once we are done, everything is going to get visualized. So we are visualizing it by creating the compelling visuals, because the things that we do that is making sense to us, R programming, Python programming, this and that. But the end user, the client, he is a layman. So we have to put our inferences in the form of charts and graphs. And once we do that, the client or the management, they can do the decision making. They can take the informed decision accordingly. So they can cover the insights into the strategic actions, and they're going to get the outcomes of it. So this is the complete life cycle that we see of a data analyst, or what they do in a day-to-day life, to be precise. Now, these are the various stages of analytics that we see over here. When we are talking about what are the stages of analytics, there are 4 stages of analytics, to be precise. Descriptive and diagnostic. This is where we are talking about the past and the present. Predictive and prescriptive is where we are talking about the future. Descriptive analytics, as the word says, what happened. So this is going to talk about, what actually happened. The sales reports, the website traffic, customer behavior. So we are trying to summarize the past data to understand the performance and the trends. Obviously, something happened, then why it happened. That is where the diagnostic comes into the picture. Why did it happen? So we are trying to investigate the root cause or the relationships between the variables. Variables means the columns into the data. How do we do that? By coming up with a correlation analysis, drill down reports, anomaly detection. Again, as I said, how do we do all these kind of things? Let us not get into this. That is a whole different ballgame. We are going to talk about that at a later point of time. Okay, fine, something happened. Okay, fine. Why it happened, we understood. Now we should also understand what is going to happen. The predictive analytics, what is going to happen now? The future. So we are using, the statistical models and the machine learning techniques to forecast the future outcomes, like the demand forecasting, the risk assessment, the trend prediction, and then the prescription. What should we do? So this is where we are recommending our management or the client based on the predictive insights that we got in the previous stages of the analytics through optimization algorithms, decision automation, scenario planning, what should be done? The prescriptive analytics. So these are the 4 stages of analytics that we see over here, guys. But how all of these things are being done? I mean, okay, fine, all these things sounds too fancy, but how are we doing that? Obviously, we are living in the world of AI. And when we are talking about AI, it is all about minimizing the brain drain. So we are using various tools like Python programming, the AI libraries which are there in it. When we are talking about Pandas, NumPy, Scikit, TensorFlow, Keras, PyTorch, all of these things are there. The data visualization tools like the Tableau and Power BI, which is helping us to get the insights from the raw data. I mean, you just open an Excel file which is having thousands of rows and columns into it. You will not be able to get anything or the insights from it just by looking at the data. But if you just load that data into the Power BI, you'll be easily able to comprehend a lot of things over there. And there are various other tools as well, guys. When we are talking about even the Excel or let us say, SQL, there are various other tools which are helping us in doing the data analysis, guys. Now, even with the integration of Copilot, yesterday I had the luxury to, work with some of my team members, and we were talking about, the integration of Copilot in, the Excel and PowerPoint. We just opened the Excel file, and using the Copilot, we were able to get the insights from it. Even in Excel, you have this thing called as analyze the data. You just open any file, click on analyze the data. It is going to analyze the whole raw data for you. So these are the tools which is helping us to do that data analysis from the raw data frames. Now, when we're talking about, the real world impact, now Gen AI is also into the picture. Gen AI, when we are talking about, it is more profoundly pronounced as generative AI. In a very simple terms, it is all about an AI which is generating some content for us in the form of text, audio, video, or images, music, whatever it may be. So this generative AI has also taken a huge role into the data analytics. But this is something which has happened in the past. From the last year, we have moved from the traditional AI to generative AI to agentic AI as well. But let us not talk about the agentic AI over here. So this generative AI, when we are talking about in data analytics, it is helping us 30% more to take the faster decisions. So these various organizations, they are using the generative AI report significantly. And it is accelerating their decision cycles. It is also improvising the accuracy. Cumulative, it has been 85%. And the cost reduction as well by automating the insights. Lower operational analytics expenses happening over here. So a lot of, the companies, there are a lot of brands I would not name, but they are using this. A lot of people are losing their job also because of this. But again, it is all about running the business. The show must go on. It is all about harnessing the power of the data, guys. So Gen AI has also now been inculcated into the data analytics trends. Processing thousands of reviews in a minute. Yes, I'm having a website, I want to see what people are giving their reviews or what are the sentiments of the people on my website. I'm just going to link that website URL on Power BI and I can process thousands of reviews in the minutes. I can get their sentiments, the themes automatically. A lot of stuff we can do over here. Right? But it all boils down to the point, that we have to visualize it as well. Because words are good, numbers are good, but if you see something in picture, that makes more sense. That is more appealing to us. So we are transforming these complex data sets into the immersive visual experience that is revealing the insights at a glance. And these visualizations, friends, these are adding the depth and the context that traditional charts cannot capture. For example, some of the charts that we prepare, the 3D scatter plots, the thermal heat maps, the world map that we are having, the dynamic bubble chart, the table chart, the line chart, the pie chart, donut chart. I mean, there are a number of visualizations which we can use, to get the insights from the data. A lot of things. So in the end, what I'm trying to say is, guys, see, when we are talking about getting the insights from the data, we can do it as a data guys. But the client or the management is not aware of these kind of things. So what they have to do, or what we should do, we should prepare and show our insights in the form of the visualizations. That is why we are talking about visualizing the data. But having said that, there are some challenges also when it comes to working with the data. Not some, a lot of challenges are there. One is the data quality, then data privacy, and whatnot. So the data quality issues, that is a lot that you see nowadays. There could be incomplete, inaccurate, or inconsistent data. But since you are working with this kind of data, where the data is not of the good quality, then obviously your insights are going to be biased. You are going to get the flawed insights. So that is the issue. Overwhelming volume. I mean, if we are working with the big data, so it is creating the processing and the storage challenges. We are having the tools like Hadoop and Spark. But again, because of the cost efficiency, a lot of people are apprehensive working with those tools. Privacy and security. A lot of times the client is saying, hey, my dear data scientist or the data analyst, I'm not going to share the data with you. Get your own data. Because they are trying to protect the sensitive information of their clients. And the interpretation complexity, translating the technical findings into the business language. I mean, there are a lot of people, but very few people are good at it. At Algoforge, we are focusing not only in making you a theoretical data analyst, but a practical data analyst, guys. This is what our primary focus is at Algoforge. Now, when we're talking about, the future trends, now this is also something that you have to, come up with or understand. I mean, you people are over here. I totally believe that you people must have done your research, how good paying field is data analysis. And when we are talking about the rise of Gen AI or, you can say the agentic AI, it is the next wave of innovation. Because a lot of data is getting generated and it is not going to stop. And every organization, they need the real-time analytics to get the instant insights as the data is getting generated within a split of seconds. Because this is somehow helping them to get the immediate response to the market changes and operational issues. Augmented analytics. We are having, various AI assistants, which is automatically, preparing the data, describing the insights, explaining the findings in the natural language. Yeah, we have been conversing in the natural language. Either it is ChatGPT or, in the YouTube also, just to speak and, it is going to do the stuff for you. And the immersive 3D dashboards. So virtual and augmented reality interfaces are transforming how the teams collaborate on data exploration. Self-AI service. This is where we are making the AI autonomous, the agentic AI I was talking about. So even, the non-technical users, they are easily able to generate the sophisticated analysis through conversational interfaces that we are having. And the report is suggesting that by 2030, 75% of the analytics will be augmented by AI and 3D visualization. Wow. Still, if we are not making a use of it, I mean, we are putting our foot on the axe. As simple as that. So the convergence of AI and immersive visualization, friends, this is creating the unprecedented opportunities for the insight generation. We have to harness this thing. I mean, everyone is aware, AI is taking a lot of jobs, but what if you harness the AI? No one is going to take your job then. Cliche jobs, are there in the market: software development, web development, MBA, BBA. I mean, okay, fine. All these things are there. If you look at the reports, the companies are doing the layoffs. Meta, Google, and Amazon. What are the job profiles they are firing? Just have a look. Most of them are software developers, web developers. Hardly you will see, data analyst, data scientist, or ML engineer losing their job. So the data speaks a volume, guys. Data speaks a volume. You can do your own research on that. Now, when we are talking about, the future, what we are having, if we are talking about unlocking our data's potential as of now, we know that the future is data driven, and it is not something which I'm exaggerating, to be precise. The organizations, they are buying your data, they are collecting your data. Why? To make the market strategy accordingly. And the people like us, we are helping them for that. So, when we are talking about the future, data analytics, this is where we are transforming the raw information into the strategic intelligence. Then we are having the generative AI power, which is automating the insights, accelerating the decision making. And finally, we are visualizing it by creating the immersive experiences that is driving the understanding. So when we are talking about, the data, the world that we are living in, first thing that you need to understand is, we are living in a world where a lot of data is getting generated, guys. And data is the new money. It is the new oil. You people might have heard, कि आजकल बहुत ज़्यादा data centers, governments खोल रही है and stuff. Which is right. Companies, they are buying the data. Governments, उन लोग data center खोल रहे हैं. लेकिन हम और आप अगर उस data पे काम करने लगे, we are never going to get old fashioned. हमारी job कभी भी खतरे में नहीं पड़ेगी. That is the thing. So we have to harness this power of data. And that is exactly what we are doing at Algoforge. At Algoforge, we are not making you a theoretical data analyst or a data scientist. हम लोग आपको एक practical data analyst या data scientist बना रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Along with a guaranteed paid internships. That is our USP. अब हम लोग इसको गारंटी कैसे करते हैं? Because we are working on the real world projects. So once you are done with the training, you will be working with us on the real world project, guys. And that will be a paid internship. ऐसा भी नहीं कि वो free internship होगा. Right? Now, along with this, one more thing I wanted to talk about. There are a lot of, taboo. लोग पूछते हैं ना कि आशुतोष डेटा एनालिटिक्स बहुत टफ है, डेटा साइंस बहुत टफ है. I do believe बट आई ऑल्सो बिलीव कि मैं आपको सारी चीजें पढ़ाऊंगा, पावर बी आई, मैथमेटिक्स, स्टैटिस्टिक्स, दिस एंड दैट, सारी चीजें आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाएगी। दैट इज माई प्रॉमिस। बट वन थिंग आई कैन नॉट प्रॉमिस, और पीपल आस्क मी सबसे टफ क्या होता है इसमें, सबसे टफ होता है टू come up with the analytical thinking from the business point of view. Why? Because this is something which no one can teach you. कोई भी आपको नहीं सिखा सकता है। Why? Because this is a habit that needs to be developed by you. बाकी की सारी चीजें मैं आपको सिखा दूंगा, बट एनालिटिकल थिंकिंग इज समथिंग कि आपको कोई नहीं सिखा सकता है। राइट, सो दैट इज ऑल फ्रॉम माई एंड गाइस।